All right, welcome back to Off the Tap. This week is episode 66, and we're doing Martin House Brewing Company's Awesome Sauce Mango Guava.
Sour seltzer.
Yeah,
That's a mouthful, but awesome sauce mango guava sour seltzer.
yeah.
Has there been a seltzer on?
This is the first seltzer.
We're breaking barriers this last 5 episodes,
The
right?
last three have all been firsts.
Yeah. Well, I guess being on the beer realm, there's probably an infinite number of beer types that haven't
Firsts,
been.
yeah.
Yeah. But still, yeah. So what was it? A rye ale? Kings
Yeah, rye
Lords.
beer.
Lord's rye beer. So we
And
had
then we
never
had
had a rye beer.
then we had the cider the week before.
Yeah, so cider, seltzer, and a rye beer in 3 weeks. We're on fire, ladies and gents.
I
Fire.
know, big time fire. Um, this is coming in at a 5%. That's what I got online.
Verified on the can.
All right, so we're good there. I'm pointing out right now that on this can, I'm looking at it, and they just got the straight up nutritional facts all across the back.
Yeah.
Like
Didn't we have that on we had that on
on
the cider as well.
I think so. Yeah, I
This
remember
is
you pointing it out.
definitely not a legal requirement, but it is just straight up nutrition
But it
facts.
looks like a bag of chips nutritional facts. That's
Bro,
what it
this
looks
might as
like.
well be a fucking box of Pop Tarts. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Real,
I didn't notice that before. It's very
I didn't
hard.
either.
So when we get into like these obscure beers and like random one-off limited editions, it's very hard for me to find a picture of the can to put
Yeah.
on the graphic. So that's why for like the past 7 weeks we've had like one bottle on the graphic. And I apologize for that, but it's really either that or I get a really crappy grainy picture, and I just think it's better if we don't do that. So I don't always get to see the cans until you hold them up. So that's why I just now
Uh,
noticed that.
Well, yeah, and obviously you can't get a good cut from that because my skills are terrible. I always make fun of the people. I don't know if you're like this too, but I always make fun of the people on YouTube. They're like, "Can you guys?" They're always fucking putting it in front of their. Like, can you guys see that? Can you guys
Yeah,
see that with their hand? And I'm like, come on, jackass! It's not that hard to work a fucking camera. And then now being on this side of it, I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know how he ever got that to focus.
It's
Um,
very hard to get something to focus.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily want to cut that out. I have a real quick, I'm gonna make it up on the spot. Fuck, dude, it's not gonna get any better. I'm trying to make it up on the spot, but I was gonna go through a real quick, just to kind of kick things off, pro con list. Uh, Number one, I absolutely despise seltzers, so that's gonna go in the con box for me. Number two, not a big fan of guava at all. I'm gonna share a story on why in a minute. Um, Mangoes, I think I can share a story on that as well. I mean, I like mangoes, but I just don't think they're the most user friendly, somewhat intimidating of a fruit, if you will. Um, and I just that's what it's got going negatively for me. On the positive side, I think the branding is pretty cool. It's a sour seltzer, so there's hope maybe that it'll bridge the gap for me. Maybe we'll see what happens. And then the other thing that it's got going for it is I really get Rocco's Modern Life vibes. Do you get that from
Yeah,
the? Yeah, like that
throwback.
throwback '90s Nickelodeon. It towed the line of being children. It wasn't like Ren and Stimpy risque, but it was right there.
It was
It was,
close. Yeah.
yeah, way more what do you call it? Not punny, but not innuendo-ish. I don't know what you would call that genre, right? There's snippets of it, especially in every single animated film. We've talked about it at length, but like Cat Dog had a little bit of it, but like Rocco's Modern Life was
A little bit of
not as great.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, there was like a few things going down. You're like, that's not really kid. If kids
That's for
knew.
an adult. Yeah.
Yeah. But that is the awesome sauce mango guava. Neither the mango nor the guava appear depicted correctly on the branding. But
I
yeah.
mean, it's cartoonish. So I'm kind of on the well, not on completely on the opposite spectrum, but I don't mind seltzers, so we're not really far off from me. I mean, I drink them. Dabble in the old high noon. I'm not a big White Claw guy, but I like me pretty much. I mean, I like most of them. I'm not gonna turn one down.
Thought of another pro real quick. This is Martin House Brewing Company, and
mm,
anything we've had from them, primarily pickle beers, right? But anything we've had from them has been great.
yes.
Um, so that goes in the pro bucket.
Hmm.
Also, on the back of the can, it says "Get lost in the sauce."
Oh yeah.
So, fan of that
Get
as well.
lost in the sauce. Also, I don't know if I've ever had guava by itself, so I don't know if I can say whether or not I enjoy it. But mango is my favorite one of my favorite fruits. I'd say probably top three.
Dude, it's just, I
Uh,
mean, we should crack, and then I'm gonna tell a guava story. You tell mango. How you feel about mango?
okay,
Okay,
cracking
let's crack.
first. I've been sniffing it already, and
Dude, they got it sealed in this can.
it smells like something very specific to me, and I can't like I smell it and I remember something, but I can't put it to words.
I know exactly what it smells like, and it's not a good thing. So you go with yours first.
No, no,
But
no, because I don't know. I can't think of it.
I'm not. I mean, obviously, I'm not the person to give my opinion of this. But here's the good news. My seltzer ratings across the board are zeros. So like, this is gonna be better than that, I imagine. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what it smells like straight up, but I don't want you to be offended because I haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah, go for it.
And let's hope it's very much like the Lord's Rye, where it tastes completely different than it smells. But I've never been that shocked before. Um, you know how when you were in like high school and in middle school and you were in athletics and you would wear your clothes every day, and then like after like 3 or 4 days you would put them in a bag and you would take them home to
They
wash
would
them.
get sour.
Yeah, but you would forget to wash them and it's Monday and
Uh,
you're like, fuck, I need now. And so you would have to wear those clothes again. That's what it smells like.
I don't know if I get that from it.
For sure.
For me, it's like a very specific place that I'm at, and I can't remember exactly. But yeah,
Well,
it tastes better than it smells.
it does for sure. I'm going to tell you this. The good news about it is I don't get that standard seltzery taste like all high noons. I mean, I know that there's like they're not all created equal. I'll agree with you on that. But I feel like when I've had a Truly or a White Claw or two Pirates or a High Noon or any of the main ones, they all have like the same fake seltzer alcohol taste. This doesn't have it. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
this goes a lot more on the sour train, I think,
Yeah, I
for
think
me.
the sour is what's redeeming it. It's almost like a super it's kind of like a sweetened grapefruit Topo Chico, if you've ever had that.
I can't back you up on that because I don't know if I've ever had that or not.
Oh man, the grapefruit Topo Chico is the best in the world. But I would say they don't convert very well. Like I enjoy this better than like the Topo Chico seltzers.
Mm. I like the
Um,
Topo Chico seltzers though. Again, like I said, I don't mind most of the seltzers. So
I don't. Yeah, so I don't get a lot of. Hold on, let me one more sip.
now I'm gonna be very transparent right now. I was burping pretty bad right before we started recording, so I'm my burps might be skewed. But
I
I've already burped a couple times.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it, like they were fucking up the taste, and I was like, thank you for being transparent with us.
Oh no, no, I'm just talking about for the fizz score later. You know, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't really get a whole lot of mango or guava. I get just sour. What about you?
It Me too, and it tastes a lot more like a soda than an alcoholic beverage to me.
Yeah, like
like almost like a Harito type thing.
yes, I thought you were gonna go because you could come in with Harito or you could Harito or
Harito.
Harito or like something that Sonic would run limited edition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, it's a freaking like no, dude, it's like a special Mountain Dew that they serve somewhere.
Oh yeah, like
You know, like the Baja Blast from Taco Bell or
yeah, but instead at a drive-through Jack daiquiri place that also
yeah.
serves hot wings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. And two of these is going to be rough on the
Yeah.
guts.
Oh, because of how sour it is? Or
Sour
bubbly?
and bubbliness. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't yeah, I mean these are probably I'm not gonna say they're gonna be guaranteed to be safe, but like I'll give it a double on this run around, but I probably will leave the other to be passed along to some pitiful soul that
Mm.
forgets to bring a beverage to my home.
Oh damn. I don't think it's. I mean, I don't think it's that bad, but
Well, but I don't
it's
drink
just me.
seltzers, so I'm just
Yeah,
this is for the sake of the argument here.
this is true. This is very true.
Um so real quick, give me to run me through why it is that you like mangoes or why it's on top of your list for
I would say
beverages.
it. I would say it's in my top three of just favorite flavoring in general, artificial
Yeah.
and or real. Um, Mango margaritas are my favorite margarita on the market.
Wow.
If I do a frozen one, at
How
least.
how I have hard rules against frozen, but I'll back you up on that. How often are you coming across a mango margarita though? They're not as prevalent
N-
as the strawberry, but
no.
the strawberry margarita is like the cranberry of all juices. Think about that.
Mm,
Strawberry to drinks is like the cranberry of non-alcoholic
yeah, you
juices.
got
They're
like the
just
cran
fucking sneaking
apple,
their
the
way.
cran grape,
Yeah.
the you got all of them, dude. You got everything.
Cran
Cran
pineapple banana.
orange, cran orange, cran.
Yeah.
They probably got like a cran out there somewhere, you know.
It's cranberry. So it's not a regular cranberry.
Yeah,
We've stuck some more cranberry in.
yeah, it's two different kinds of cranberry.
And
No, yeah. In fact, the only place that I run across the old mango marg myself typically is the Popsitos, which I'm pretty sure is just a Texas thing, right? Houston area thing,
uh
right?
yeah, well, there's some of them up in Dallas now, but in the DFW area, but I'm pretty sure they're not outside of the states. I mean, outside of the state.
Yeah, so that's typically where I get my mango marg. I agree with you though. If I'm gonna get a margarita, I get it on the rocks personally.
Yeah.
But in the event that they have a mango margarita frozen, I will get it. Um, it's one of my favorite things to put in a smoothie. I think it makes a smoothie better. Makes me feel tropical as shit. Makes me instant flavor of the beach. Like I just want to be on the beach in the breeze, smelling the salt. And it's just always been one of my favorite flavoring or flavored fruits. I would say probably like maybe two, because I think my favorite fruit over the last 3 years maybe has become watermelon.
I like watermelon.
Because I'll tell you what, ain't a watermelon in the zip code that's safe from my
I
mouth. I will
mean,
down any watermelon that I come across.
I do love watermelon, but mine has been fresh cherries, dude.
Mm.
They're just it's a more
Like with the
convenient.
seed.
Yeah, it's a more convenient. I think it's referred to as a pit, but
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not. You can Google that. I'm not even really sure, but I think um, it's to me a more convenient plum, a better textured, more convenient to eat plum. You know what I mean?
I agree. It's a bite-sized plum.
It's a bite-sized plum, but you also kind of get that same like mo that you get with a watermelon because you just eat the stuff around it and you get to spit the pit out.
Yeah, I
Pretty
agree.
nifty. The problem with, or not always say problem, but like my reservation with mangoes, I love it's my favorite high chew, fucking hands down. I don't know if
The
you've
high chew. If you've never had a high chew, you got to get on the high chew train.
that's your homework. High chew train. Hey, that was a
High
pun
choo
by
choo.
accident.
High choo choo.
um, that is by far. First off, I think it's by far the best. I don't care what we've pumped up now and later's. We've talked about Starburst. Like nobody's bringing it. When High Chew walks in the freaking arena to play in that tourney, Haichu is gonna slaughter, hands down.
Yeah. It's like a heavyweight going up against a featherweight, bro. There ain't no
Yeah,
competition.
it's like I was gonna make. Yeah, we're not gonna leave that in there to just to save you some editing. I'm not gonna mention that, but yeah. So Haichu's slam and the mango is by far my favorite. I don't think it tastes exactly like a mango, but it's slamming. Anyways, here's my reservation about the mango. I feel like they're a little intimidating because they have a tendency to be like stellar or like super fibrous, stringy, and not good.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a gamble where like if I gamble on a watermelon and it's not perfect, I'm like, it's okay. If I gamble on like an apple, we've talked a lot at length about this when we talked about the ciders, but when I gamble on an apple and like it's, you know, I'm that odd person that loves it when it's like overripe and starchy and grainy, like that's fine. But when I gamble on a mango and it's like stringy and fibrous, bad day. That'll ruin a
Mm.
week for me. I'll think about it like 4 or 5 days
Fair.
later when just about to fall asleep. And I'm like, fuck, man, you remember that mango?
Is there any other fruit that does that to you?
No, not really.
Maybe not like the fiberness exactly, but like you bite into it and you're like, this was a bad one.
you know what? Actually, I bring this up all the time because me and Katie fight about this a lot. Peaches. Because to
That's what I was
me,
gonna say.
okay,
I was gonna say
because
peach.
they like people will eat them super hard. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
No.
I want them to be as soft as possible, but without being mushy.
Mush. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh. It needs to be like the perfect amount of ripe.
It does. And I think that comes from I used to eat a lot of canned peaches, like home canned peaches.
Oh yeah, grandma, bro.
And yeah, so they would always be, semi boiled, obviously, because they had to be canned, and they were in like this simple syrup, and so they were firm, but they were soft and they were bite size, and they just always would dissolve in your mouth. Um, but yeah, so that's my scare with mangoes.
That's
I
fair
feel
enough.
like I like them. If I like when you brought up a good point, like the smoothie thing. I mean, I don't even. I'm not a big smoothie fan, really. But if I was, like, I'm not like, oh, they're not like cucumbers. Okay, that's always what we're gonna compare to. They're not like cucumbers, but um, I'm not like a. I don't go seeking a smoothie. Like if there's one there, I'll drink one. But I don't think of them in. I don't think of mangoes in that situation. And so maybe that's what I'm
Mm.
missing out on. Maybe I'd like smoothies more if I just incorporated more
Yeah, bro. A
mangoes.
little bit of mango banana, bro. On the beach, son.
You, you know, I don't know if I've ever had them mixed with anything. I've always just had them by themselves.
Mangoes?
Yeah, like I don't
Oh,
think I've ever
dude.
had.
You
I take
gotta
that
mix
back.
them up.
I've had them in like salsas and stuff. Like a
Oh,
mango
yeah.
salsa, mango
Mango
chutney.
habanero.
Yeah, with like
Man-
I guess there's corn and shit in there. I don't know. I'd have to look, but
Which also,
um,
mango habanero is also my favorite hot sauce, but it does bad things to my gut. Very bad things.
I don't. That's any hot sauce in general. I could smell somebody's like
Buffalo wings.
Tennessee hot chicken coming like in a paper
Just
bag while
bubble
I'm on
up
a
real quick.
public transit system, and immediately I'll go. "Whoa."
Yeah.
So,
Guts start bubbling. You start running.
I know. Yeah, just panic sets in. I'm like, do you guys smell vinegar mixed with heat? Uh,
Oh
um,
no.
but yeah, a lot of people like the mango habanero. I probably would. It's not my. When I think hot wings, by the way, I'm very traditional and I go with the straight up hot wing. But I would respect mango habanero, but it's not my go-to,
Mm.
and it's not because I'm scared of fibrous mangoes either.
It was my go-to until what was
The
my
gut.
go-to? So 2 times ago that I had mango habanero, it did very bad things to my gut, right? And I don't know for any of the listeners here that don't know yet, I'm quadriplegic, so I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't get up and go use the bathroom. So
Yeah,
you do the math, okay? So 2 times ago when I had mango habanero, I was like, man, must have been because I was drinking so much, right?
that is not the
No.
case.
So I tried it again, and about an hour after I tried it that time, I was like, well, it was not the beer. I'm pretty sure I know what it was.
Hmm.
Um, so
So then you
yeah,
tried them one more time just for
no, no,
good.
no.
Oh,
I haven't had them then since then. Unfortunately, every time I get wings, I want them. In fact, we got wings last weekend. My dad got some wings, and he was like, "I got some, I got some garlic parmesan, some regular buffalo, and I got some mango habanero too." And I was like, "Oh, I can't, Dad." And he goes, "No,
why?
those are for
Why?
me."
Why must you tempt me so?
I
Why
know.
must you?
He brought them home, and I could smell them, and I was like, "Oh God, I want it so bad."
It's the same way with the like I don't want we don't have to make the whole episode about hot wings, but it's the same way about garlic parmesan. There are
Mm.
people when they say like you'll have friends or something, and you'll be like, "Hey, you want to go get hot wings?" And he's like, "Oh hell yeah, I can murder some." Like in my mind, what I think is we're going to get hot wings, like standard hot wings, and they're like, "Oh no, I can murder some garlic parm," and I'm always like. That doesn't even occur to me. Like when people say hot wings, like I respect it, but when people say hot wings, the only thing I think of is butter, vinegar, and Frank Red's Hot. Like that is what I think of. Some
It's
variation of that. Okay.
I always get half buffalo, half regular original hot buffalo, and then half garlic parmesan to keep the mouth cool, baby.
See, I guess I it depends on where I'm going. If we're throwing up like big names or whatever. Like if I'm at Wingstop, I'm gonna get half original, half Cajun, which is just original with the seasoning sprinkled on it.
Yeah.
And then I do go outside of the box when I go to B Dubs because I get original hot, and then I get Asian Zing
Yeah, that's a good one.
because it's a little more heat. It's probably not mango habanero, but it's a little more heat than like teriyaki or barbecue or something like that, or garlic parmesan. Obviously, it's like the general so of hot
Yeah.
wings, if you will.
Yeah. It also depends where I go for me too. Like I don't get the garlic parmesan from B Dubs because it's a
Mm.
wet sauce and I don't like that. But from Wingstop it's like a dry garlic parmesan. I mean there's like a little bit of wetness, but it's not like dripping. You know what I mean?
I do like the wet. It's weird. I
Oof.
do like the wet, but
No.
but
Not for
for
that
those
specific sauce at least.
really for those that like the garlic parm, I have heard. I've never validated, but apparently Wings and More has the most rockin' garlic parm. Apparently,
I've never tried their garlic parm.
it's been so long since I've had even their regular buffalo. I don't even know, but yeah, apparently it is like it's the poster child. It's the Webster picture of fucking garlic parm.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever had from Wings and More is their standard buffalo, I believe.
It's been a long time, man. I would say
Mm.
long, long time. But that's my reservation about mango.
Also, I hope nobody's listening to this while they're hungry. We really apologize for just
I,
going on a wing
I am
rant.
I am starving, and
Oh, so
although
that's why.
yeah, it just happened to me immediately. You said guava, and I mean, sorry, ugh, not guava. We'll talk about guava in a minute, but you said mango, and my mouth started watering, and then you were like smoothie, and then mango habanero, and I can literally taste the hot wings burning the back of my mouth right now, and I
Oh
haven't even had
God.
one.
Wow, that's crazy.
So thank you for that. This is like when you're about to fall asleep and you're like, yeah, I got nothing really to watch. And you're just like, I'm not really that hungry or whatever. And then you throw on those videos of like, I do this all the time, like them making Asian street food. And I'm just like, fuck me. I could kill a 5 gallon
Nah,
bucket of fried rice right now.
God, nah. Now I just want a bunch of shrimp fried rice.
Dude, I
That's
could
what
have
I want.
had a Michelin starred freaking ribeye with like the world's best baked potato and just a garden salad plucked fresh from the grass in front of me. And then I can throw on one of those Asian street foods and I'm like, I will eat the fuck out of those duck feet right now. Right now,
Yeah,
I need them in my mouth. It's 1 a.m., but I don't give a shit.
I'll fly there. I don't care at this point.
Worth it. Dude,
I'm
they,
booking a
they make
ticket right now.
everything look absolutely amazing. Everything that they eat looks absolutely amazing to me. And it's always here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that we underappreciate. And this is the last thing about food. Then we'll move on. But I do need to have to tell a story about guava.
Yeah, we
They
need the
make
guava story.
it's not going to be that great. I pumped it up way too much, so just buckle up to be disappointed. It's there's a sauce for everything over there, and I don't understand why we haven't fucking incorporated that in our American lives. Like, yeah, we put condiments on shit, but like the Asian street food people are like, hey, I'm gonna make this absolutely phenomenal dish, wrap it in some newspaper, and then I'm gonna douse it with 5 different sauces. And I'm like, there's no way you're eating that on the way to work on your moped or whatever without getting it all over you. But I feel like everybody when you get to work is like, you just fucked up some amazing
Yeah.
breakfast, didn't you?
You know that
17 eggs mixed with cabbage, a little bit of spices, and 50 different mayos. And you're just
yeah.
like, hell yeah.
It always blows my mind that like America is so obese, but like we're not doing stuff like that.
No, but they're also walking everywhere, and like work from home's not a thing. They also probably have like one of those meals a day. Um, yeah, but there's chunky. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know how you want to slice this one together. There's fat Asians too. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's bigger people everywhere. I'm just saying, like statistically, America is an obese country, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like we're not. You don't have like food trucks. I mean, yeah, food trucks doing that, but like not like they are in Asia or wherever you're watching it.
I'm gonna leave this as homework as well. A little, you know, I would say not a conspiracy, but it's the additives, right? Let's be honest, it has to go back to
It
that.
is. It has to be. It's the sugars and stuff that are added to all the
Yeah.
stuff we eat, man.
They're
So
taking straight maple syrup and tomatoes and just dousing entire birds in it, and they're slaughtering it over there, and it's delicious.
yeah, it's like somebody was telling me that like bread is so much different in Europe. Like you don't feel bloated when you eat bread in Europe because there's not so much sugar and stuff in it like we put here in the States. And I was just like, I want to go to Europe now because I love bread so much. But like I eat it here and I just feel so bad an hour later.
I do love bread, but it's the corn tortillas. I mean, we don't need to go on about this. If I could only have one for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So quick to the guava story. It's not that great, but one time, we love liquid IVs, right?
Yeah.
For when you're a little under the weather, or maybe, you sent it a little too hard.
Hungover.
Yeah, you let it rip. Um,
Yeah.
and we had,
Yeah.
Costco's where we purchase them, so it's by the duffel bag. And we got home, and I don't remember what it was. I don't know if I was hungover, or I think I must have been, because anyways, and I was like, hell yeah, popped a guava. Immediate regret. Immediate regret. Because it was like, I don't know how to describe it. It was the consistency of, and it's just a liquid IV. It was the consistency of like fresh aloe. I don't know if you've ever cut open an aloe vera and then just like scraped it with a fork, and it gets kind of like chunky and gooey and sticky, and it was like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it was like that. And then it tasted like I don't know how to explain this, but like it tasted like a yucca plant. Like when you snip, we've done a lot of yucca trimming, but when you snip it off, and that smell, like it's not a bad smell, but there's like that white pus that it emits.
Yeah.
Kind of, it was like that, and I'll never forget that. Like I needed it to put me back together, so I must have been hungover. I needed it to, bring me back to life, and although it did its job, I was like, man, I would have rather just rode this out for a couple of days and just felt like dog shit. And anyways, so now I associate that experience with all guava. So I'm not even giving it a chance. I'm sure straight up real guava, or like guava sugars, guava syrups, like they have a place. But if they remotely bring me back to that, 7 a.m. grasping for life, warm glass of guava liquid IV, I'm not rolling the dice on that.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I figured out what this smell is, by the way. I just had a thought in my head and it came through. Do you remember the Venom energy drinks?
No, I've never had one. I don't know
Oh
nothing
my
about it.
god. So obviously, everyone knows like Monster and like Red Bull and stuff,
Red
but
Bull.
yeah,
Nos.
yeah, Nos. But there was one back when I was in middle school that came out that was Venom, and there was a yellow can. I don't remember what the flavoring was, but I feel like there had to be guava in it now that I'm smelling this because it smells very similar and it tastes very similar as well.
Did it have like black on the can with it?
I think it had a snake on it.
Yeah, and there was, I was gonna say like scratch marks, but I think now you're right. It was,
Yes.
I'm gonna Google that.
I think
Got the power of Google in front of me.
yeah, Venom yellow can. Look that up. Anyways, I drank those things religiously in middle school. Like I would get one every time we went to the store, and I would finish them and spit my sunflower seeds into them. And so it would like, my spit and the old sunflower seeds would like sit in the can that wasn't actually washed out,
Uh,
and it got bad.
it's not even it's primarily a black can, but it's yellow on the top, and it's the eye of the snake, and it
That's what
looks
it
like a
is.
fang, but it's not. It's just the I guess they have pupils. I guess.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like the vertical eye looking
yeah,
thing.
like a vertical eye, and it was mango.
Oh, so it's mango. That's what it is
Yeah,
then.
so not the guava,
Yeah.
but it was the mango. Yeah. Um,
So
it was
that's the
called
that's the smell I'm getting.
yeah, it was called Killer Taipan, and it was
I
the
didn't even know
mango.
that. I would just see yellow, grab it and dip out. Um yeah, down to many of those. We didn't
I
really
do
talk.
get
What?
Go
Go
ahead.
for it.
I do get now that you bring it up, like I do get more of a mango. Like sometimes I'll take a sip and I'm like, oh, there's the mango. And then sometimes I take a sip and I'm like, oh, that's just sour. And then I
Mm-hmm.
took another sip and I'm like, ah, there's the guava. But I don't know if it's because you keep like
You're
referencing scenarios where I
Yeah.
know what mango tastes like or what guava tastes like. It's funny the way the brain works like that. But anyway,
Yeah, when you
you were
think
saying,
about it.
right?
No, we didn't talk much about the branding here at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Oh, talked a little bit. Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about it, but we didn't talk about the fact of how this one was picked out. I mean,
Oh, yeah. So, in preparation, I think we've mentioned this a little bit before, but we will go and it's not that we buy in bulk, but we'll kind of go together, either separate and pick enough to where each person get a few, or we'll go together and just kind of spitball. I would say we do a very good job of not pre. This is going to be counterproductive to the comment I'm going to make about this one. But we do a very good job of not judging a book by its cover. I think it goes without saying that, like, we love how it sets us up to enjoy the beer and the marketing aspect of it and the story that it tells and all the
hmm
funny, mushy gushy nuances of the branding in the can. But I don't think we picked them that way. Like, we don't ever go through and go, oh, what's the flashiest can? Or what could I make a comment about? Or what is compelling to me from a distance? We kind of look at what they are. Like,
mm,
oh, like the Lord Ale, right? Like that's something new. Like that's something we haven't done. Let's try that. We knew we needed a cider, that so we scoped one of those out. But it wasn't like we picked that one specifically for a reason. I didn't know that we were doing a seltzer, so I'll get back to my story. But I just want to like lay the foundation of normally we don't go in and say, oh, that's a big name or that's a brewery that we love or hey, we haven't done or hey, we've done a lot of these. Let's do this as a comparison. It's fairly organic how we pick them, I would say, right?
yeah. I mean, sometimes I go in and like I'll see a name that's flashy. Like whenever we did the Doc Hoppaday a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, like you come across a name like that and you're like, oh, I gotta try this one for the content. You know what I mean? But typically, yeah, I don't really go for like anything super flashy on the can or anything. I look at it, and if it sounds interesting, then I grab it.
I would also say shout out to breweries. And this, if you're getting tagged, but we do a lot of times, and this is probably what. Yeah, actually, I found out that this one was a Martin House afterwards. But like, if we've had a drastic great review and a drastic like lower review, then like we're probably more apt to pick that one up so that we can find a tiebreaker. Or if everything that we've ever had from that brewery is just slamming, like obviously we're gonna investigate those. I would say, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the story, as I was saying. So we were in need of a couple of weeks of inventory, if you will. I don't remember if we were planning for one particular episode and we just didn't have anything on the shelf, but I took the kids with me. So I went and I picked out, I think we needed 4 or 5. We were trying to stack up for a couple of weeks, but I picked out one and I don't remember which one it was or why it was. Um, and then I let Elliot pick my daughter pick one out. And I don't remember what hers was. And then I think Katie might have picked one out. I can't remember. Maybe I picked two. But anyways, so this was the one that Finley, my son, picked out. And what's funny about it is like if I look at this can, there is not a chance in hell any other beer would have been chosen that day. Like this is just targeted at, I'm not saying they're targeting children. I guess that's a little bold of a statement.
Yeah.
But like, if he's looking, he is judging every book by its cover. And so
Yes.
he saw this and he was like, oh, that's the one you got to get. And I was like, all right. I mean, can we get something else? First off, I didn't even know it was a seltzer till we got home. Okay. So that's why it's being included.
Right.
Because he was just so dead set on this has to be the one.
Actually,
I was
yeah,
like,
you didn't even know because you sent me pictures of them, and then
yes.
I was like, "Oh, a seltzer," and you were like, "Oh, a seltzer."
Yeah. So I was unaware, but he was just dead set on it. I was like, no, can we pick something? He was like, no. And I was like, all right, well then you're not, I was trying to push back. I was like, no, then you're not gonna pick then. He was like, well, you let Elliot pick. And I was like, well, shit. Now we're suckered into the awesome sauce.
Yeah.
Um, I think it would have been cooler if it wasn't a seltzer, but
I
eh.
think it's a cool little idea though.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month or once every other month we give in to the flashiness and just grab the flashiest thing. Maybe
Oh yeah,
let your kids pick some out. That's fine.
I'm completely cool with that. I'm completely 100% cool with or gifting. Like we've had people gift us stuff and like
Oh yeah.
I'm completely down with that. Maybe not. Maybe not what we've been gifted thus
Yeah, maybe
far.
not the jelly bean goes, but yeah.
Yeah, but I would say yeah, I'm completely down with that. From somebody else having it bestowed upon us, so that we don't have any preconceived like opinions. Um, however, when you were setting it up, you're like, yeah, it wouldn't be that bad if like once a month we had a, and I was like, if you say seltzer, then I'm checking the fuck out. We're not doing this anymore. I won't sign up for that.
No, no. Just the flashiness. I don't want to do a seltzer right now. Once a month, I'll tell you that much. Um, this is hurting my
No,
tum tum.
I'm gonna say once in the lifespan of off the tap. I think we've checked that box. We've scratched it off. And
Oh man.
next time that we go and we do a random pick and the kids end up with something that's a seltzer, I'm gonna accidentally drop the 6 pack in the parking lot when I'm walking back out to the car.
Oh no!
Yucks!
Dang
Darn the
it!
luck.
Gosh darn it! Dag
Yeah,
nabbit!
it's worth the $8 or whatever, $10 just to pacify them that they picked it out and then ruin it behind their backs on an accident.
Oh
You got to make it
man.
look like an accident, though.
Yeah, when he grows up and he gets into podcasts and he goes back and listens to this, he's gonna feel so betrayed of all
I
the
don't know.
times that we dropped a sixer on him.
I'll go back and make him taste the awesome sauce, and he'll be like, justified, justified.
Yeah, that's true. Um, it's weird. Like I don't know. Like, I've just been dealing with some stomach stuff lately too,
Yeah.
and like just some other stuff, and like I haven't been sleeping great, and I don't know if it's just like a combination of all of that or if it's just this, the fact that it's a sour seltzer combo thing, but it is hurting the tum. I don't want to
Yeah,
throw that out there as like an indictment against Martin House because like what I'm saying, all this stuff has been going on with me, and I like it's my tum's just hurting, bro. I'm one can deep, and I just don't know if I can keep pushing.
I'm on an empty stomach, and I think putting this level of
Ooh,
carbonation and sour in it is not. You
that's
haven't
not
eaten
good.
anything since like way earlier today.
Yeah, why haven't you eaten?
I was just busy. We'll get into that in a minute as I pay homage to. Well, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
But I've been running around getting stuff done today, and so dumping this in on an empty stomach, I think it's still getting a fair shot. Okay, I'll put it this way: it's making me feel pretty bad, and it's tough on the stomach. But I think my palate's as fresh as it's ever been. So that's the benefit of running on E as far as food is concerned. I don't have anything that's like earlier you mentioned burps. If I get real burpy, like on hot wings, pizza, any other bar fare, I feel like that can dictate my enjoyment of beer sometimes, or like my original interpretation. I'm going to put a pin in that in my own brain and I'm going to come back to that. But it can like cloud my judgment of certain beers at times. So
Yeah,
this
I
is,
feel you.
there's no cloudiness or judgment.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
bubbliness and uncomfortableness in the stomach.
yeah, 100%. The point that I was putting a pin in now.
Yeah, put that pen in your head and came back to it, and the pen fell out.
Yeah, immediately. In fact, I'm pretty sure my brain was like, "Watch this, dumbass."
Yeah. Uh, that's
Um,
what you get for running on empty, bro.
yeah, but I was talking about like bar fare judging, changing my perception of things. Yeah, we're not getting that one back. That ship sailed. But maybe later, if somehow by some stroke of genius I remember, I'll bring it back up. Yeah, so basically I'm on an empty stomach because I had a lot of things that just showed up as far as truck maintenance today. I've got a trip that I got to take tomorrow, and like brakes are gone on my vehicle. Were gone, not needed an oil change. My backup camera was screwed up. I had an electric notification. Like I just had a bunch of stuff going on that I've just
Damn.
been, yeah. And the truck's not even that old. But anyways,
No,
I had
it's not.
a bunch of stuff that I was like pushing to the back burner because I don't drive but like once every 3 weeks or something like that.
Mm.
So anyways, they finally all caught up to me and I was like, I'm gonna get them knocked out today. So anyways, long story short, go get parts or whatever. And the first thing that we did, because my dad was helping me, but the first thing that I did was change the oil. And so, like, I'm going to bring up three things. Okay. One, certain engineers should be hugged, kissed, loved upon, shouted from the rooftops, carried on the shoulders of the public. The guy that invented the filter for the newer F 150s is that said engineer. Okay. Then some engineers should be kicked in the nuts with a razor blade cleat. And that is the fucking engineer
Jesus.
that put the plug on this particular F 150 model. So underneath the truck, and everybody's had their instances. You hear stories, there's this and that. Anyways, I'm underneath the truck, and there's nowhere for the oil to clearly flow from the vehicle. It's going to hit 50 million things, splash everywhere, because that's the way the truck's fucking designed. Hence the razor blade nutsack cleat kick. So this happens, and I took at least 3 or 4 tablespoons to the left eye. I know I drank, like I mentioned, probably, a couple of good heavy-handed bar shot pours. Okay.
Good God.
And then I laid in, by the way, everyone's aware, it's August, it's Texas, it's 105 degrees. Okay.
Feels
So
like of 111.
exactly. So the oil's already going to be hot just at ambient temperature, even if the vehicle hadn't been running for the hour and a half that I was driving it prior to me changing the oil. Some of which is my fault. I get it. But so it's pouring out of there like liquid lava, splashing everywhere. It gets in my face, it gets in my eye, it gets in my hair, it gets in whatever. That's fine. I'll take that all day long. But I happen to be wearing a t-shirt that I did the math on afterwards after I laid it to rest in its final resting place that I had owned for 17 years of my life. It was my favorite t-shirt hands down. Um, I've experienced so much life in it. I every time I put it on, I get a ration of shit from anyone that sees it on me. I would say that I wear it probably 60% of my life. And I honestly thought about as I laid it in that recycle trash can at my father's house. Okay. I thought about I've probably worn that shirt for 60% of my life over the past 17 years. Okay. It'll never be the same again. Obviously, I don't have it anymore, but I had to say farewell to a part of me, really, honestly, today. And in the moment, I was teary eyed, probably because of the oil that was there in my eyes. But emotionally, it was a lot to let go of. And I also kept thinking to myself, I'll never find another shirt. Like, first off, I'll never find another shirt like this because it was a graphic tee that said Miller High Life. And I don't even know if they're doing that anymore. But secondly, it's because it was a good shirt for a while, but it was a great shirt after like 10 years, right? That's when it really settled in. And I don't have anything in the pipeline. I don't have anybody riding the pine. Nobody on the squad that's remotely close to hitting 10 years.
Your bench is a bunch
Now,
of rookies right now.
zero fucking bench strength. Bench strength. So yeah, I had to lay to rest today my Miller High Life graphic tee.
That's a sad day when you got to throw in the clutch graphic tee, man.
Yeah, so to which brought me, I
It's,
bet you the lifespan of most graphic tees is extremely short. Very short.
I bet for most it's probably a weekend.
At best, you're bought as a gag. I made the comment, when you and I were talking, when I was actually having to collect myself prior to the episode and really decide, is this something that I'm willing to share? Emotionally, can I handle saying that live? Um, and I did. Obviously, you guys got the story, but I just thought to myself, most graphic tees immediately become graphic tanks. The fucking sleeves on those bad boys, lifespan is like from
Gone.
the walk from the Walmart to the fucking car in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Because most people are buying them for like lake or river, or
Oh,
yard
well, just
work.
I mean, I also just think like the volume of people that are like the demographic of people that are buying
Yes.
generic graphic tees, they can't live a life where sleeves are allowed.
No.
They can't be constricted by sleeves. They have way too many things that are going on in their life if they're buying graphic tees. That's my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed 100%. Um,
Yeah.
I love me a graphic tee. Not as much as some other people I know, but you know, I love me a good graphic tee every now and then. But sometimes they get a little too wild though.
I mean,
Mhm.
and it's fine. You can buy. I guess this is what I mean by graphic tee. If you if you go to a show and you buy a musician's tee or whatever, or like you were at the premiere of like the teen. Again, I'm wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja shirt. I didn't even realize that. But yeah,
Oh, I know
like you
that
go to
shirt
the
well.
you go to the premiere. This one's old too, but you go to the premiere of um a movie and they're selling shirts or something, that's fine. But if you are the type of person that's just going to a Kohl's, Penny's, a Target seasonally, probably back to school time, and buying loads and loads of graphic tees, those are the folks that are immediately converting those to sleeveless workout shirts, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
especially the Walmart ones. If you're
Oh
getting
yeah,
them at Walmart, Kohl's sometimes we can run through and say those shirts may not be getting chopped up, but it's still roughly the same demographic.
So the thing that really to just circle back so that I can put a bow on this because I'm also gonna have to sleep with this burden tonight. Uh, mm, I wish I knew like there was no way to determine where I got it. There was nowhere to determine what the brand of it was because honestly, I didn't care that it said Miller High Life on it. In fact, sometimes that's what made it inappropriate. Um, in certain
Hmm.
settings. I just wish that I could have that exact t-shirt with nothing on it in every freaking color that they ever made it in. That's what I wish that I could have. And
I don't know if they really made it any other color, bro.
no, I'm talking about the brand though.
Huh.
Like I just want that brand of t-shirt. Like I'm sure there's a brand name, like there's a manufacturer of the t-shirt. I don't care what's printed on it is the long story short.
Oh,
Um yeah, I just man, what's done is done.
I'm sure it's not like too. You probably just go and find another one at the store and realize what brand it is, and then grab those brands.
I guess, but like High Life doesn't have an exclusivity with one shirt manufacturer.
So I've always thought about that. Right, real quick, let's get to wrapping this up. But like I've always thought
Yeah,
about that is, do like the things they get printed on those shirts? Do they get like royalties? Like does High Life get royalties
absolutely.
for that,
Yeah,
or
they're
are
like
people
well,
just
Miller.
sending it? You know what I
No, no,
mean?
no. They're licensed. You have to have the license to do it.
Because I'm like
Yeah,
they're not selling them for a lot of money. It's like three for $30.
dude. Murder by numbers. There's a large population of
Yeah.
outlying rural folks that love sleeveless graphic tees.
Tease, yeah.
Good lord, I was trying to cover all my bases on that one, but yeah,
Yeah. All
yeah.
right. Because
There's
I always thought
places.
that. 'Cause it's always just
Yeah,
like they're all never like the same thing. You're always got like one Miller, out there, and then you got like a couple Marios, a couple
Yeah,
of Zeldas maybe, and you
a
just got like
freaking
a random Scooby Doo out there randomly.
well, and then they throw it. There's like a Pink Floyd or something like
Yeah, it's
that.
always
It's like a
Pink
Dark
Floyd,
Side of the Moon.
AC/DC,
Yeah,
let the lead out, a little bit of Led Zepp.
yeah, those ones. A freaking
Yeah.
every now and then you can find a Weezer. I do have a Smashing Pumpkin one, but that was special order.
Ooh,
Like, yeah, it's
that's a
just
rare one right there.
um, yeah, they're definitely getting licensing for that. So maybe I do a little bit of research. I know that Katie would be thrilled if I showed up with another Miller High Life beer. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's never gonna fit, wear, and or experience the same things that one did.
Yeah. All
So,
right. Well,
R.I.P.
we have gotten to that point in the pod where we got to talk about the WWYBDs here. Um, I'll go first if you
Okay,
want me
good. I
to.
have two answers, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, honestly, this is a try at brewery drink. More like a, not even like a order, like a sampler. Where you go up and you're like, oh, what's that? And they pour it for you, and I take a sip and I'm like, ah, that's interesting, but I think I'm gonna just get a beer. You know. So I'm at the brewery hanging out, but not necessarily choosing this one. Just giving her a taster. It's not really my thing. So
I'll give you that. I got two answers because I felt like the first one was the easy way out. What would you be doing? Not drinking this. It would be my first answer, but that's obviously too much. And not no kick on Martin House. I mean, I'm sure that people that love seltzers will probably be all in on it. I could see how people that like seltzers could convert to this being something that they drink more often. I don't know about their go-to because of availability, but something that they drink more often. Um, but then I was like, all right, don't give a bullshit easy example. So, and I'm not being offensive with this, but this would be like if your spouse, or I'll say obviously my spouse, but if my spouse had friends from work, or if your spouse had friends from work or whatever, and we were going over to their house for like a kid's birthday party, or we were going over to their house for like a, I don't want to say Christmas party because I don't think I would drink this when it's cold, but like a 4th of July or something like that, right? And I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to like have a good time. I had things to do afterwards. I wasn't gonna be able to have a good time, drink a bunch of beers. We had things going on. I got stuff to do the next day. And I wanted to like socially have one beverage, but not more than one, guaranteed. This is what I would drink.
mm,
Because it's summery, like I would stay refreshed because it's 4th of July, it's a kid's birthday, but like I wouldn't be at risk for like, oh hell yeah, the beers are going down smooth, like
yeah,
I'm not gonna care about the rest of my day. Immediately I'll be like, whew, all right, so that's done, and I don't want to experience that again, so I'll move on. You know what I mean?
yeah, I feel
Again,
you.
it's not bad. I'm an anti seltzer guy.
Yeah, understandable. All right, let's get into the ratings here. Um, I'll go first. Uh, on entry, I gave her a 3. Um, you know, it's as far as seltzers go, it's kind of not really what I expected. As far as sours go, it's not one of my favorites. Aftertaste, I gave it a 3 as well. It didn't really move in any way. Body, I'm also giving it a 3 because it's kind of, again, in that. I mean, it's a sour seltzer. It is what it is as
Oh, it delivered
advertised.
on, yeah, it delivered as advertised. I'll give
Yeah,
it that.
it's as advertised. So if you're into that, you're gonna be into it. But it's a really weird blend for me and my palate. Um, color, I gave it a 5. I mean, when you poured it, a seltzer is a seltzer. It's gonna be clear like that. I thought it could maybe use a little more boobliness, considering
Yeah,
it's a seltzer.
the camera doesn't, well, yeah, your rating. The camera doesn't do it justice. It does have a little bit of a off-white tinge, kind of like
Okay.
champagne, but like a super watered down champagne.
Okay. So that could be a 4, but I'll leave it at a 5. It's close. Bitterness, I'm giving it a 3 again, just because my palate's kind of confused. So I just kind of left it in the middle. Could
That
go
is
down a little bit.
that is a very good way to not just that score, but like this whole that could almost justify any of the ratings here. Like
Confusion.
it is, yes. Like when you said bitterness, I'm giving it a 3 because I'm a little bit confused. As I look at my score, I'm like, that was why I struggled giving it whatever I
Yeah.
gave it. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to keep interrupting, but that was very accurate.
Acidity, I have it at a 4. I mean, it's fruity. Um, it's mango guava. I get the mango. I get, like we kind of said, if you think about it, you're gonna get it pretty much. And fizz, I wound up giving it a 3. At the beginning, I was having a lot of burps, but again, I think that had part to do with my dinner before now and everything else that's been going on with me. So they kind of faded off, and also it hurt my stomach a lot. And
Yeah.
so the burps were not very relieving either. So that brings my total to a 24.
Damn. All right. So yet again, we're very, very close because I answered honestly based on what if I was a seltzer drinker, what I liked or what I didn't like. Okay. I didn't just go with zeros across the board like I joked at the beginning. One more other, like maybe a little bit of piece of homework, and I don't do this to be negative. I'm really, really not. I'm just trying to like voice. Obviously, some folks watch, but a lot of folks listen. So I try to paint a picture of like something that immediately, if you're familiar with, you can like associate with what it smells and what it tastes like. I thought of something else that it smells like when you smell it in a glass. Has if you've ever opened a fresh bag salad mix.
Mm,
Okay, it's not quite like putting meat in a Tupperware. It's always going to smell like a fart when you open it. It's good when you eat it, but it always does, right? It's not like that, but a
uh,
bagged salad, as soon as you crack it, if you just take that first whiff, it's been locked in that bag for a bit, right? When you take that first hit, that's kind of what it smells like and tastes like to me. Anyway, it's not a bad thing. I'm just trying to relate. On entry, I have a 3. Again, middle of the road. It goes in like any seltzer. Uh, except for pineapple. Pineapple is a trash seltzer.
you're a hater, bro.
Okay, anyway, entry comes in at a 3. I do think it falls off a little bit, so I gave it a 2 in aftertaste. It didn't stay where it was when it came in. Body, I also have at a 3, only because like it delivered the right amount of mouthfeel as I'm drinking it. Color, I had at a 4. Again, kind of based on my argument earlier. Like it's not super crystal clear. And in fact, I don't know, maybe having a little tinge of color should make it higher, but I did have it at a 4. Bitterness I had at a 4 as well, but that was where I was very confused. Because of it being a sour and not a straight up seltzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a little confusing there. Acidity I had at a 3. Honestly, could maybe be a 2 because I think it's a little too acidic, right? It's a floating
Yeah.
scale,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I agree with you there.
So I'm gonna actually cut that to a 2, and I don't do
It's,
that very often.
it's almost like the acidity of like squirting a lemon directly into your, like just eating a lemon.
It is. It weighs heavy on the chest. Like those of
Yeah.
you, and this is not taken lightly by any means, but like if you've ever, I don't know what it's like to feel a heart attack, but like if you're scared maybe that you're on the cusp of one, don't drink this because you could mix that up. Is it
Yeah.
one or is it just a seltzer?
Yeah.
But on the fizz front, dude, I have it at a 5, and here's why. It continue in a glass. It continues to breathe bubbles. It continues to keep a little bit of fizz going on in the glass. It delivered enough burps, like the right amount of burps. They also don't taste terrible, as I would expect them to. So yeah, I have it out of 5. Overall score 23. Was a 24 to match yours, but I dropped acidity as I came to my senses.
Yeah. So pretty close. Pretty much same score. Again, if this is something that you're like into, I recommend it. Again, I really like sours and I really like seltzers. Not a huge fan of these mixing. So that's just my opinion. But if you've had something similar in the past and you like it, then I recommend it. If you're, into that flavor, give it a try.
The only thing that made it halfway enjoyable for me, because I think I've been fairly clear about how I feel about seltzers, is the fact that it was a sour. So also, again, if you're super seltzer, then this might be a segue if you really like sours.
Yeah. All right, well, we've gotten to that point in the podcast where I'm going to tell you to go follow us on social media, on Twitter and TikTok at Off the Tap Pod, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Off the Tap Podcast.
Seltzers aren't worthy of a poem, bitches.